Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Hot Planet Repair Team meeting. It takes place every 2 weeks on Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're happy to have you here, as always, to scale up plant repair with a global, fun, creative, interconnected community. We've been working hard so we can get you all working hard and having fun to do what we got to do to repair our planet and our common ground and our home. So we are going to really just break in today what are the most important things that we need to achieve now, as well as update you a bit on what are some of the long-term ways in which we're moving forward. So our priorities in quarter one, quarter two, and also, in the long run is getting all the assets we need for plant repair. That's all different kinds of assets, whether it's buildings, properties, currencies, you name it. We need anything and everything in order to repair our planet. But in the short term, most important part is money, donations, liquid assets that can help us pay the employees that we need to scale this up in these systems as soon as possible in the best manner, become those leaders. Because what is really crucial is we all have the tools, but it's how do we use those tools as a team in an effective way. A tool is only as effective as the person and people using it. So we have the tools, we need to set up the structures and systems, but the people are the most important part of all of this. Those people already have joined Hot Planet Repair Team, and all those others who haven't yet joined Hot Planet Repair Team. So in order to do that, we need our donations, we need our money. And so crowdfunding is the way to do that, peer-to-peer platforms. We will make sure that you all have the right tools to be our evangelists, to get those donations in. But it's also about being a loudmouth, talking to everybody around you and telling them about Hot Planet Repair Team, that we need these donations to come in. That will help scale up everything we need to do as soon as possible. So keeping track of the different fundraising opportunities is great. If you think of any high net worth individuals, family offices, foundations, companies, any sorts of entities that can help us get the assets that we need sooner rather than later, let us know. We're all here to identify those opportunities and get them, turn that into assets as soon as we possibly can. And those include partnerships, tapping into your networks. So assets for planet repair, priority number one. Number two, we want to be crowd sharing. It's part of similar to what we were just saying, being the evangelists, being the loudmouth, spreading the word, tapping into your networks. We're rolling out articles, content, and other things which can help explain what's going on. So as we share that in the group chats, on our YouTube channels, these meetings here, the articles that I'm writing with our other colleagues, we're sharing on LinkedIn as well as Medium. That'll be really helpful. And one way in which we want to scale up and build our global movement in our community is to tap into existing networks and platforms which help us do that. So what's one of the best ones in the world? LinkedIn. We want you all, every member and all future humans and organizations that belong within Hot Planet Repair Team, to list yourself as a member on your LinkedIn page, on your, go into the volunteer section and write out that you're a Hot Planet Repair Team member. And that's one of the ways in which we will be able to really build the movement and show the numbers that we're creating and getting everyone else to want to be a part of this amazing opportunity. So list yourself as a member on LinkedIn. We'll make that a little bit more clear by sending you a one-pager. What's the best way to do that? Say if you're not that familiar with LinkedIn. And one of our other big priorities is getting everyone to join the team. That's going to continue to be a strategic priority that we need to have all the best tactics and performance-based ways to optimize the amount of people we can acquire and join our team and partnership onboarding. So we will be showing you the updated webpage, but first I'd like to hand it over to Tyler to talk about one of our biggest campaigns at Hot Planet Repair Team. So Tyler, please take the mic and talk about getting untrashed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jake. And it's a pleasure to be here. And thanks everyone for showing up. And yeah, it's really exciting what's happening and what we're bringing to the table for the world in eliminating municipal solid waste, plastics, biomass waste streams, tires, um, without needing to sort and without creating emissions. And so zero fill has been created and is being um, basically presented to sovereign groups around the world, because sovereigns are realizing that they've got a big problem. States, municipalities are also being shown this, and they are overwhelmed. Their landfills are overwhelmed. The recycling has been more of a marketing campaign than a solutions campaign, and especially with 93% of the plastics just going into the landfills and not being recycled. It's obviously a fail, because we all know we're splitting our, plastic bottles and our, all of our stuff, and it's all going to the same place. So let's stop fooling ourselves. And so zero fill is there's no sorting, there's no emissions, no tipping fees. It's a system that can be implemented into sovereign and municipal waste management. And this will be being deployed around the world, also in discussions with the United Nations smart cities and their adoption and promotion of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So this transition is absolutely massive. And one of the bigger problems was paying for it at the municipal and large scale levels, and we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars per facility. We can provide 100% financing for the implementation of these systems, and so that's just a win. A lot of municipalities have failed as far as financially, and they don't have the funds to pay for that massive capex. But we can arrange for the elimination of landfills. In fact, actually mining the landfills themselves, taking straight tipping from the municipalities. It's a real game changer, because there's no sorting, no emissions, zero waste, and we've trademarked zero fill. And so that's going to be a transformational application for people and cities and organizations around the world. We're excited to be having that showcased through and with hot plant repair team, and I'm excited and blown away, and I've recruit I'm a loudmouth, and I recruit HPRT members every day, and some of those people are on the call right now, and thank you for being here and joining and being a part of this. So
and Tyler, can you tell us a little bit about, since we've had this 200-year party where we're spewing out hydrocarbons, greenhouse gases, other greenhouse gases, and all this waste into our lands and oceans, can we talk about how fun it's going to be, how we untrash this party and clean it up together?
Yeah, I mean, this is an era of abundance. We're surrounded with carbon waste streams in our atmosphere and in our landfills. Unfortunately, the carbon in our atmosphere, no one can see, even though it's 35 times more than what we put in our landfills. But we can clean up the landfills and we can clean up the atmosphere simultaneously. It's not an either or, it's a both and we can do both and create the raw materials for the next stage of modern civilization doing it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And it needs to scale globally. And having people on board HPRT, what we're doing here collectively as a team, is going to set fire to the motion and the mission that we're on. And so it's exciting. I don't think we need to really be looking at drilling holes into the Earth's crust for hydrocarbons when we're awash with carbon waste streams all over the place. Mm-hmm. On it in our oceans, in our landfills, in our atmosphere. It's everywhere. So let's take advantage of it. We're entering into an age of abundance, and there's a great retooling ahead.
Yeah, and that great retooling, that whole move, all these movements and transitions we need to take, one of the best ways to scale it up is to use the power of art, campaigns, musicians, fun ways to get people motivated, inspired, and intrinsically, ready to get involved with untrashing our planet. And so we're going to do whatever we can at HPRT, along with all of our partners and future partners, to make sure that this untrashing party we're going to have is going to be a fun one. And we're going to really use the forces of creativity and inspiration to get those people getting untrashed for our planet. So thank you, Tyler, for talking about that here. I'm going to jump over to the conversation about joining the team. We need our existing members to understand, where do they plug in? Where do you belong within HPRT? And so we've created a new web page here. We took our existing web page, updated it, and there you can have the general sign up form. But if you go below, you can see that this is where you can fill out a form for general onboarding to figure out where you fit within the whole Hot Planet Repair team, or you can get more into specific teams such as the marketing, comms, PR, content and storytelling team, the fundraising, investing, sales, recruiting and business development, and then the governance, admin, HR, accounting, finance, compliance, and legal. And soon we'll be making a form for those to get involved who are interested in the Planet Repair playbooks and Connectory, as well as other opportunities, which Alan will speak to shortly. But that's the webpage there. We'll be expanding it to include job postings, other volunteer opportunities once those arise. So please keep revisiting that page, sharing that within your networks. Fill out the forms, let us know, and say if you want to figure out where you belong and you're not sure via the form, you don't rather not fill out the form, you can set up a meeting by emailing us at team@hotplanet.repair. Use the subject line identifying my roles within HPRT, and then we can help design your customized journey, perhaps set up partnerships with your organizations. So please reach out to us. We've had many people do so far, and these stories we want to jump into as well, to explain how have others gotten involved. But some of the other opportunities we've had so far on our website is, the animator, cartoonist, and creative storyteller. We're reviewing those applicants and getting back to them soon. So please, once again, please list yourself as a member on LinkedIn. And one of the stories, John, actually, I'd like to hand the mic off to John for a second. John, could you talk about some of the partnership and member onboarding meetings we've had, and one of the stories which you found to be pretty great, which will help others understand how they can also get involved?
Sure. Yeah, it's been an exciting couple of weeks. This past week, and especially the past couple of days, have been super exciting because through our Connectory, which is our connection directory, or the way that we meet people and get to know them, and as we build out that infrastructure for that directory, for that Connectory, we are also practicing what we preach, in that we're setting up these one-to-one meetings with folks that have raised their hand and said, hey, we'd be a good partner, we believe, for HPRT. And so Jake and I, and whoever else on the team can join, sometimes Tyler, sometimes Alan, we find through these discussions that there is a superb fit. And I don't think we've had a discussion yet where there hasn't been a good fit. One in particular, though, that I really enjoyed yesterday was with a gentleman that is in a foreign country, not in the continental US. He is in the Americas. And he's in a small village. He used to work in manufacturing. I think he spent a couple of decades in manufacturing and distribution, and working for some of the largest companies in the U.S. And come to find out that he pretty much sold most of his possessions and liquidated assets so that he could fund his junket to a small village in Mexico that needs help in building infrastructure. And this is infrastructure to provide clean drinking water, and to process the municipal waste that comes from this small village. When I say small village, it's about 5,000 to 7,000 people living there. But it's a perfect example of a place in the world that's being affected by climate change, and yet doesn't have the wherewithal to build out and maintain the infrastructure needed for these people to live a healthy and sustainable life. And so he's down there, on this mission, feet on the ground, as we call it, to help do good things. And he's reached out to HPRT, and we've made the connection and realized that, through our connectory, we probably can find the right technology, the right fit to help implement the solutions that he needs to help this village. And there's nothing more exciting than having someone like that wants to be on the HPRT team, wants the support and the help that we can provide as a knowledgeable entity that has resources that we can bring to bear to help him. So it was really a great conversation. I'm sure Jake could add more color to it. I don't want to mention names or places or things just yet. I think it would be better served that once we integrate our services and support, and he accepts our help, that would be a great story for him to tell on one of these meetings. How we synergize that particular project. So the reason we're telling you this is because these are the kind of one-on-one discussions we want to have on a regular basis. We want to uncover not just these project opportunities, but we want to connect the right resources to someone like this that's in the field, that needs a specific solution that can help the people that are on the ground, help the people in this village, attain a better life, meet the challenges of not only the environment, the immediate environment that they have, but also to combat the forces that they can't control, which is what climate change and environmental pollution is about. So you can think of places in the world that are similar to this. Maybe it's a small island, nation or village that would need the same kind of support and help. So anyway, great synergistic conversation to have around what we're trying to accomplish with HPRT.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, John. I mean, there's so many of these people we've met so far in organizations that we really love what we're seeing with HPRT. We want to learn more. We have the meeting with them, and the synergy is immediately obvious. And one of the things we have to do with Planet Repair is do it as soon as possible and urgently and in an effective manner. So we're getting started right off the bat with some of these people, figuring out where we plug them in, how do we get the right resources to empower them. And we also have others that have come in with partnership opportunities saying we want to bet on HPRT, and they have amazing market platforms which they've created, and they believe that they could be valuable to this movement that we're making. So we're really excited to share these developments once we can talk about them and they're established. But this is what we need to do. We need to connect those dots, make those webs, facilitate the growth that we need to achieve it together. So we're excited to be sharing more of these stories as we can convey them in the proper manners and time frames. So I'm going to move up. We could keep talking about all the amazing meetings we've had so far and people that are getting involved, but we'll save those for later meetings as we have a lot of other things to share right now. So Tyler, would you mind quickly talking about the events page?
Sure. We've added an events page with a calendar that, and I invite other people that are HPRT members to add if they've got an event we'd like to cross promote, because together we are all going to achieve more, and we'd like to echo your efforts as well when we can. And but I would like to have a happy hour event later this month, so we can all kind of sit back and get better acquainted with each other and do some networking, perhaps some cross promotion of solutions. And I think that there's a number of people that just have incredible ideas, incredible backgrounds, and HPRT is just the place to meet them. Sometimes we may be passionate about what we're doing, but your group of 10, 20 friends may have absolutely no interest in it, but we do. And this is what we do. We get things done. And so if you want to be around people that get things done, we encourage you to reach out to us. We can help cross promote what you're doing in our events calendar. And also, let's get to know each other better going forward in the weeks and months and years ahead, because there's a lot to do, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tyler, for explaining that. And we've had other partners like Think Pineapple Foundation who understand the importance of in-person events, and how you can really create impact by connecting people in person, establishing those real human ways of interacting and figuring out, how do we achieve plan repair and build communities that can and relationships that really matter and can deliver that impact. So yes, we're making this global movement, which is going to have a lot of virtual meetings, but we want to have those in-person meetings and opportunities developed as soon as possible. So say if you want to start a fundraising activity or event in your city, reach out to us. We want to start establishing those so we can really spread the word, not only virtually and digitally, but in person, using the power of speaking and connecting with others and the more human ways of interacting, which we've been used to for thousands of years. So I'm going to jump back into the presentation here and get into some of the team stories. We've discussed the feet on the street story with John, the project and system change makers, and how we're going to connecting them. We discussed a little bit about the partnership acquisition story so far, but one more I'd like to share is, we need people that are recruiters, people that know their business development, their sales, their financial markets and investors. We had one of our members reach out to us last week and say, hey, I have a strong network and experience, decades of experience in financial markets in the tri-state area up in New York, New Jersey. And that is so critical that this member stepped up to us and said, hey, how can I help with my skills, experience, and network to raise some funds and investments in the donor advised fund for Hot Planet Repair Team? So any way in which you could bring value to what we're doing, maybe you have passion for a certain area of art or music and you want to make a song for Hot Planet Repair Team. That's do what you want to do and help us get done what we need to do. So align those together. And so these stories we'll keep sharing with you, but we think it's important for everyone to understand the different ways in which others have got involved, because we're all different in our own ways and why we join. And that will continue to develop throughout time. So I'm going to hand off the mic to Alan here for defining performance teams.
Yeah, hi guys. Actually, Jake, I'd like to maybe just jump up to what's the next slide after this? Okay, yeah, this one. Basically, we're developing our ecosystems, and right now we've got 3 large ecosystems that we're building. The first one is the connectory. The connectory basically takes people, places, and things and starts networking them all together. And think of profiles on everything. Profiles on people, places, things, whatever. Things can be anything. And we're going to be using the next box over, the playbooks, and Primary Playbook Alpha for onboarding, classifying, and registering projects. So whenever somebody says, I got a project, or I know somebody could do this, we need to send them Playbook Alpha, or send them, this will probably end up becoming a form, online form to be filled out. And that form will then put into the connectory. The people involved with that project and that playbook, the locations, the things involved, all that stuff gets put into the connectory. And just think of this as a system that basically is creating the digital networks between everything we're doing and everything on the planet. And then once we have playbooks and projects registered, and we start funneling those projects down, and we boil them down to where here's a viable project, and we're going to then wrap and build something called the Hot Planet Repair League. And this is the NFL, the NBA, the FIFA, whatever, This is the nonprofit head of scoring, measurement, rulemaking, branding for Planet Repair and for-profit Planet Repair teams. Because there's a lot of money that has to go into this. A lot of companies aren't going to just do this for nothing. And so, but we want to measure them and we want to make it a competition. How good of a Planet Repair type team are you? And this is where measurement and scoring and rulemaking and branding and all this happens. It's the best structure I've seen. And anybody in the United States is familiar with the NFL. The NFL is a nonprofit organization that makes several $billion a year managing for-profit teams. That's the same approach we're going to take, is to manage for-profit teams out there that are doing Planet Repair and scoring them. And Hot Planet Repair team will probably take a royalty. It'll have licensing, branding, all those kinds of things, just like the NFL does. Whenever you see an NFL sticker or an NBA sticker, that means there's branding going on. And so all of these three things are right now in the design, structure, and development stage. Anybody that wants to help out or feed into the systems, let me know. But, go to the next slide, please.
But one thing I'd like to say, Alan, what's the best way to help getting these built and scaled up as soon as possible? Isn't it the money, getting the donations in?
Well, money needs to come after we actually sort of scope these out with requirements and document what we're doing, and then we can actually apply the money correctly. Money should be raised as fast as possible, and that goes into the bank and the piggy bank. And then when we get a playbook or the connectory done, or we say, okay, we got to build some software here, yes, then we apply the money. But the connectory and all those things, we need to really. Right now, I'm in what I call the design, structure, and development stage, which means figuring out how all this stuff works together, how it interlinks, the business mechanisms between them all, basically the requirements.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing right now. So go to the next slide. So the connectory basically connects people, places, and things. It also enables communications and all the profiles, and all projects through Playbook Alpha will get registered there. Next slide. The Playbook Alpha is where everything, go back up, is where everything starts. And it connects the playbooks into the connectory. And then it starts bringing the leagues together when there's an actual project that boils out that we're going to back and brand and will be named as a Hot Planet Repair Team project and a Hot Planet Repair Team league team. Then we basically are going to be expanding playbooks into those types of playbooks for those teams and those leagues. Next. So scoring and tracking, accountability, competitive competitions, things that basically validate every one of the teams out there doing Hot Planet Repair. That's what we're trying to do with this league. And standardization. There are 100,000, a million projects going on. Groups there's thousands of groups like us saying, oh, we got to do something to save the planet. Well, there's 1,000, 10,000 islands out there, and nobody's actually building the bridges between the islands or the networks between them. And I've seen this problem many, many times in industry, where we need to build this industry, and this industry is Planet Repair. And it's just like the internet. I was involved in helping build the internet, build some of the largest networks in the world in the internet stage. And they were basically just connecting islands of companies and islands of people and getting that all done. And that's basically our role, is to build an industry level system, not down at the individual team levels. That's why we are going to have to partner with all these teams. Next slide.
Yeah, and one thing I'd like to touch on, Alan, is like in these leagues, like in FIFA and the NFL, when someone breaks the rules of conduct, they get penalties. So for greenwashing, we want to focus on enforcement, monitoring, evaluation, making sure that greenwashing's over with, because we're sick and tired of it. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So, let's make sure that we create these systems, structures, enforcement mechanisms which will eliminate this greenwashing.
Yep. I'm done.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to hand it over to John again. John, would you mind touching upon what we need to be doing with the training, onboarding for the various fundraising, sales, and biz dev work that we got going?
Sure. So the current leadership team is going to be responsible for the initial training on the Blackbaud platform. The reason for this is obvious, that we need to know the system inside and out as the managers and leaders of HPRT. But what will happen as we receive specific applications from folks on this call and from previous, as well as incoming inquiries, for those people that want to really become part of the operational team and help manage these processes that we're talking about, which, you know, the main functions of any nonprofit is obviously fundraising and project management. And of course, you know, as on this call, we've also covered events which require their own project management, their own processes. So, excuse me, it's important that, you know, we understand, you know, the full implementation of the Blackbaud platform, which is occurring now. They're actually integrating our initial data. They're setting up our first iteration of the Blackbaud platform. Several leaders on this call were already starting to train on the platform. And, you know, as we receive applications and resumes from folks, we'll understand some folks may even have past experience with Blackbaud. Certainly, if you have any experience with CRM tools like Salesforce or Sage CRM, et cetera, Zoho, you probably already have a good familiarity and have an intuitive sense on how to operate and use these platforms. And why are they important? Well, because, you know, they really do inform the process that we're going to follow for onboarding people, for onboarding capital, for onboarding projects, and for managing all three. You know, Alan likes to talk about, you know, people, places, and things. Well, in order to manage those in a tight and disciplined way, you have to have a good platform, and Blackbaud really has an excellent technology platform. So as you see there on the screen, you know, we talk about the fact that, you know, this first iteration will be launched on March 14th. Before that, we'll have already done some training. We'll already have a good bit of our data, you know, all the contacts we currently have that are part of the connectory, you know, which is well over 100 now, which will include high net worth individuals, the peer-to-peer connections and networks that we're working on, and then of course grants and donations. So any questions around that?
Yeah, if any of you think of any grants that you see out there that would work with the Hot Planet Repair team, supporting the core functions or even a project basis, reach out to me and we'll help figure out how we're going to jump on those opportunities for grants as soon as possible. So John, thanks for walking us through that. Just want to quickly touch on partnership acquisition. You know, we're hosting lots of meetings. So those of you that want to become a partner, you know, others that might want to, set up a meeting with us. We'll get you on board. We'll set up those partnerships. A great example is we had a meeting with the founder of Avalon Alliance, and we're figuring out, we're both alliances for sustainability. How do we achieve our mission as soon as possible? Let's start with a joint campaign. So we're getting started in designing and how we're going to work out our Sustainable Superheroes Alliance for, you know, these different Marvel, DC comics that we will create our own version of to inspire and motivate people for planet repair. So that's a great way in which we had a partnership meeting, which immediately turned into an actionable item and campaign that we can scale up to mobilize many more humans. Just want to quickly touch upon marketing and comms. Louise isn't here today, so I'll cover this. Like we were saying, if we want to catalyze people, we got to use the forces of creativity. Art, music, those things are some of the most powerful forces on the planet to get people engaged, interested, and inspired. So please, any of you that have, good artistic skills, maybe you actually even want to develop them, or you want to help us reach out to some of the best artists out there, whether they're musicians, painters, sculptors, we need to reach out to these folk, onboard them to HPRT, and create some beauty for the campaigns, as well as, everything we're doing at Hot Planet Repair Team is to make the world a more beautiful place. And how do you do that? You create eco-industrial systems, you empower Mother Nature, but you make things look good. When you make things look good, people behave better. There's been many studies that have shown that crime can be reduced if you make environments more aesthetic. People behave better around places where they appreciate their environment, what they see. So we're going to be integrating the powers of art into everything that we're doing, whether it's through our Untrash campaigns at festivals, or the Sustainable Superheroes. So please reach out to us if you want to help out with any of these ways in our marketing, communications, and art. We're also looking for people that know their public relations. We need a rapid response team for those that reach out to HPRT, want some answers about what we're doing. So please don't be shy. Reach out to us via the forums on our website or via email. So Tyler, you quickly touched upon the Planet Repair socials. So I think we don't really need to cover this again, but these will be every 2 weeks. The week that is not the one for these meetings. On Thursdays, we will host the socials. So this is where we get to know each other, network, and have fun, and identify ways to move forward together. So thank you all for your time today in this wonderful discussion on, where are we at now? Where are we going? So if any of you have anything you'd like to ask right now, or anyone else on the team like to discuss anything, now's the time.
Unmute everybody, Jake.
Yep. Anyone can turn on their microphone now.
So you guys, I have something really exciting I've never shared with you, but I have something for the Red Hot Planet Repair Team. I won't get into it right now, but it's extremely exciting for your marketing Marvel campaign. Mainly what we can do is we can take your image and activate it with your video. So we'll get into that more later, but it's really exciting, and I think it's going to showcase everything that this team is doing very well. The sexiest way to advertise. So really exciting. We'll go into that later, but yeah.
Thank you very much, Nancy Lee. We're excited to see how that will all play out. Thanks for sharing. Anyone else want to jump in and discuss anything, or anyone on the team that made something we didn't cover? Allison, do you have any words for us?
I was just going to say that Jake has been the workhorse for the content so far. We sort of created a content calendar, and right now we're focusing on explaining, what is Hot Planet Repair Team, what are our goals, what are we trying to achieve, and to get people, to sign up. And so we're just asking if anyone has, the will and skill to write some articles for us. We love to have the content, so poor Jake doesn't have to keep pumping them out every week.
Jake, can you put the link in for your last article in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Allison. Sorry.
And so just let us know. You can go to the team's page and sign up, or just put it in the chat that you have an idea and you'd like to write an article. We welcome the content.
Well, I'm excited. We have people in from Europe, United States. We have a young man from Africa that's joined the call as well today. So we've got Canada. We're all over the map here, and we're going to be all over the world. So really excited for everyone to be here and what we're going to do.
Thank you very much. I'm also super excited, as you can all tell, and passionate about what we're doing here. I hope you all can be too. Adding on to what Allison was saying about the content, we need more articles. We're going to be doing some podcasts too. If anyone knows any podcasts that we can get onto, help us get on there. If you know anyone who knows their social media, we need more content for our social media. If you love Instagram, help us optimize our Instagram. I'm not somebody that likes TikTok, but we still need to use TikTok because it's the most powerful and most used platform in the world right now for sharing content. So if any of you that want to help us, tell some of the stories and different things that we're doing or will be doing, reach out. We need all the support that we can get. So that's all I have for now. Anyone else have anything they'd like to discuss?
No.
I see Ryan that you'd be happy to write an article. Fantastic. Reach out to me. Anyone else have anything?
Go team! Woo!
Go team.
Have a great
Exactly.
day, guys. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Nancy Lee, our evangelist leader. We need people like you. So I'm gonna end today's meeting though. Thanks so much for your time. We'll be posting this on YouTube, and have a wonderful weekend. See you in 2 weeks or next week at the social. Adios.
Hey, thanks everybody.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Thank you. Bye,